So today I'm just going to talk around gratitude and how that impacts our mental strength and resilience. So like a lot of practices and things I talk about, I've actually tried most of these things. So I went through a period where I got up every morning and I did a morning routine trying to see whether I could optimize my day. And gratitude journaling is one of the things that I did. So I'd get up in the morning, I would go through a few short processes, and then one of them would be to write down a couple of things that I was grateful for from the previous day. And I also went through a period where I would do that of an evening, where I wrote down a couple of things that I was grateful for that day to see whether I preferred morning or evening gratitude journaling. We also went through a bit of a period where, based on the back of a few different stories, and I was trying out the idea, was talking about gratitude at the dinner table. So when we would come home, we'd organise our dinner, we'd sit down as a family, have our meal, and we'd talk about what we were grateful for from that day, both from ourselves and with our children. So I went through this for a while, but none of these practices really stuck for us, and there's a number of reasons for that. But I just wanted to go through some of the science around gratitude and just why it may not work and how it might be applicable. So gratitude itself has received a fair bit of focus in the science. So there's a reasonable body of evidence for it. And what it really shows is that there appears to be low effect size for the positive benefits of gratitude. However, it has been shown to increase feelings of happiness and feelings of gratitude itself. It hasn't really shown to have a really big effect on any sort of mental health, self-reporting, or feelings or decreasing feelings of depression or anxiety. And when we look at the research around youth and gratitudes for youth or gratitude programs for young kids, there doesn't really seem to be much showing any positive impacts for youth or any real scientific evidence showing that you really need to do it with your kids. They kind of develop resilience through other factors anyway. What it does show, however, and despite the fact that it probably has been overemphasized in the popular media or popular science or self-help spaces, is that when we look at it, there are positive effects. And when you look at the positive effects, there is distribution. So there's some people that don't get any benefit, and there's some people that get a lot of benefits. So if you're somebody who's going around and seeing a lot more friction in your environment, seeing a lot more of the negatives, then maybe journaling could be something that's going to be beneficial for you. So if you can put that in your day somewhere or throughout your day, or have a practice where you do it, then that may reframe the way you see the world, because there is some indications that it can have an influence on the way that you filter information, because we do filter information from our world for what we are looking for or what we want to see. So a lot of that is around salience and negativity. So if you're seeing more of that, then maybe journaling or having a gratitude practice could reframe or sort of rewire, so to speak, the way that you see the world, or change that filter a little bit that you see the world through. So you'll start to see more of the positives. You may start to then get happier, see more gratitude, and then you'll continue to see more of what you want to see, and you'll continue to get happier. So for some people, there may be benefits in gratitude journaling. For other people that are already fairly happy, or sort of what would be considered sort of normal populations, there may not be much of a benefit in it. And a lot of the research has probably been done initially on populations that weren't considered normal, or sort of had higher levels of depression or anxiety, and they were done as interventions on those things, and then there wasn't much replication in normal populations. So when you're actually looking at your gratitude practice, there are some indications as well through the research that if you're doing it every day, that can actually decrease your resilience or your mental strength for some people, as opposed to doing it every so often or once a week when you actually find something that you are really grateful for. Because there are some indications that doing it daily, it turns into a chore for some people, and that itself creates a friction point. So for some people it may work, for others it may not. And like most things, when I talk about what you can do to increase your resilience, is to have a go. Do it in the morning, do it in the evening, do it at the dinner table, do it where it's convenient for you. Trial it for 3 to 4 weeks, see whether it's making any difference, and if you like it, keep doing it. If it's turning into its own friction point, then maybe it's not for you. So a lot of these sort of isolated practices that we use for resilience, or have been made popular through sort of the self-help industry for increasing mental strength and resilience, don't really work for everybody. Some of them have a benefit, some of them don't, but it's worth looking at them to see whether it's something that you need to put into practice for you, whether it's going to have a positive benefit or not. Give it a go, see if it works. If it doesn't, then maybe it's not for you. Maybe move on to something else, because resilience isn't really created through these isolated practices. There's a lot more to it, and it's more around our actual environment and the way we're resourced than an individual capacity. So I hope that helps you understand a little bit around gratitude, what it is, what it isn't, and there's more to it if you want to dig into the research. But if you like it, do it. If it's not really working for you, then maybe try something else. So I hope that kind of helps a little bit, and I look forward to the next time.